Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? My name is Kiana Smith, and I'm representing Financial Aid Department. I'm going to do a quick overview on financial aid, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask at any time. So I'm going to share my screen. So if you haven't already filled out your FAFSA, if you're planning on attending school or attending CTC in the fall, you can fill out your FAFSA now for 2021/2022. Here are a couple of the terms for the financial aid dates that your file should be complete, or that your financial aid FAFSA should be completed and turned in. For the summer semester, you should have already turned in your FAFSA. And the summer semester starts April the 1st. Actually, I'm sorry. The summer semester starts, let me check one moment. Yeah, April 1st. The courses covered by the financial aid eligibility. To be eligible for financial aid courses, the requirements to complete the student academics program, they have to both begin and end with the same term dates. So if you're planning on taking classes in the summer, your classes have to start May 17th, but they have to end before on August 15th. Now this goes if you have received financial aid like Pell Grant and loans, your classes have to start again May 17th and end before August the 15th for financial aid to cover your classes. And your classes have to be on your degree plan. If your classes are not on degree plan and they do not fall within these term dates, financial aid will not cover your classes. Now let's talk about the census date. In accordance with the federal regulations, the Office of Financial Aid will recalculate federal and state aid based on the enrollment status as of the census date for classes. The census date is the point in which your enrollment is looked for or is locked for financial aid purposes. Awards that are effective by the census date are the federal Pell Grant, the federal Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant, and Iraq and Afghanistan service grants and direct loans. How we communicate with you. We always communicate with students via email, your student Eagle mail address. So for some reason, if you have questions, if you send us emails, we'll always respond with you via your CTC Eagle mail address. Like I stated previously, the FAFSA submission dates are open now. So if you're planning on going or attending school in the fall, you can go ahead and submit your FAFSA for the fall term. Any questions so far about financial aid?
There are no questions in the chat right now.
Okay. Also, what I wanted to reiterate, if you're planning on using loans for the summer term, you must submit a loan form. It's a loan request form. You can find that on eTrieve. So if you're planning on using your loans, your federal student loans, you must submit a loan request form on eTrieve. That's how you'll get the summer funds for loans for the summer. I know financial aid gets questions on a daily. We get emails, we get phone calls, we get messages on the chat about the acknowledgement form on students' checklists. That form is not a requirement at the current time. So, I mean, students call and say, I've completed it 3, 4 times. That form is not a requirement. You can complete it, but it's not a requirement. It will not hinder you from getting future funds from financial aid. Any questions so far? There are several types of aid here at CTC. There's grants, there's loans, there's scholarships, and we even have a work study program. Our school code, if you're filling out the FAFSA, they will ask for our school code. It's 004003. If you have parents who were previously in the military, or if you're a veteran yourself, we do have something called veteran benefits. And they can give you extra information on what's available and what they offer. If you're doing a consortium agreement where you're taking classes at Central Texas College and Texas A&M, we do have a thing called the consortium agreement. Any questions so far? If you're
Kelly, you
taking
might want to,
classes, go ahead.
I was going to say, you might want to talk about what you mentioned about the acknowledgement form as part of the application process. Students say they fill out that acknowledgement form and then they bombard you with phone calls, so that you might want to answer that, kind of address
Okay.
that.
The acknowledgments form is usually found on your checklist. If you have already applied for financial aid, there's a form, it's an acknowledgement form that says that you have to fill it out. Currently, it is not a requirement. So if you've already received financial aid or is looking to receive financial aid, that form is not a requirement on your checklist. You do not have to fill it out. It will not stop you from getting future awards from CTC. If you have any questions for financial aid at any time, we are available Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5:30, or Monday through Thursday, I'm sorry, from 7:30 to 5:30, and on Fridays from 7:30 to 11:30. You can always reach us by email or via chat. Once you do complete your FAFSA for financial aid, it usually takes 3 to 5 business days for us to receive it into our office. Once we receive it, it is assigned to a processor, and the processor will reach out to the student via email, their student Eagle mail, and let them know if there's any forms that need to be submitted along with the FAFSA. Any other questions?
Can you show us where individuals can fill out the FAFSA and how it works for the student, and when they also have a parent involved, how that works?
Yes, one moment. So to fill out the FAFSA, you would go to FAFSA.gov, and this screen will pop up. It is at the top of the say Federal Student Aid, and you would start here. If you are a returning user, you'll log in as normal. But if you're a new user, you would click Start here, and it'll walk you through it. So if you're a student and you're an independent student, you can do I am the student. If you're using your parents' information and they support you, then your parent will click here. For the 2021-2022 FAFSA school year, you will use your 2019 taxes. Any other questions on the FAFSA?
Not on the FAFSA, but there was a question earlier about the checklist that you mentioned earlier. And where is that checklist found? And maybe you can walk them through the checklist.
So you will only get a checklist if you've already been approved for financial aid and been awarded. Let me find it.
What's all on that checklist?
So if you've been approved and they still need documentation as far as like independent standard verification worksheet, the acknowledgement might be on the checklist. Just items that they may have to turn in pending verification. Everyone will not get a checklist. It just depends on if they need to submit extra items to their processor.
We do have another question here. How are you awarded financial aid if you have not registered for school yet?
You have to apply for admissions, and then you fill out your FAFSA. So you cannot be awarded financial aid until you apply for admissions first. So you apply for admissions, then you apply for financial aid.
Okay, and the other, after that, it says we filled out the FAFSA last October, so it is still in limbo.
Will you send me that student's send me that student's ID number so I can check on that for them? Or they can reach out to me via email.
Yeah,
We just want to clarify that just to make sure, and Dan, your student has already filled out the CTC application, correct? Because the main thing is yes, okay. Most of the time, if you don't get an email, has your student checked their Eagle Mail? because that's the next step. What kind of like what Kiana was saying is that a lot of the times the students don't check their Eagle Mail, and that's where they get a lot of the information. The other place that you can find financial aid information if there's something going on is what we call Web Advisor. And that's the other location that you can check, or the student can check. And they will tell you some of the information that may be missing. Is that not, Kiana? I'm not sure
That
exactly
is
what.
correct. That
Okay.
is correct. That's where they'll see their checklist for the items that may be missing.
Okay, so Dan, just so that you're okay, so she does have an application with us. One of the things, if she is still in Ellison, like in high school, and is taking classes with us at the high school level, you're still gonna she's still gonna have to talk to somebody from admissions, so we can change her status once she graduates from being what we call dual credit. To actually being just a full-time CTC student or non-dual credit student. So she should be able to still access her web advisor and see what she has available in the web advisor, but at some point she will need to talk to somebody so that we can make that change in our system from her being just a dual credit student to being just CTC student. But web advisor, she should still be able to see it. And if she doesn't for some reason, then that's where Kiana, can you let us know what your email is so that he can contact you, or the student can contact you?
Yeah, it's Kiana, Q-U-I-A-N-A .smith at ctcd.edu.
That's a really good question, because that's a that has a lot of implications with different aspects of it. We have different kinds of students, so thank you. Kiana, can you show them where the web advisor link is located on the web page,
Yes, one moment.
please? Thank you.
Go to student tools. Mine works.
Yeah, you gotta wait for that gray line going across there sometimes to get back to the start, and then you can, there we go.
And then click Web Advisor. And then you would log in.
Now, if your daughter's already a student here at CTC, she should have a CTC ID card where she can use the main login and up at the top there, and find out her specific stuff. So.
Any other questions?
So Dan or any of the other individuals that are on this call, if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact us or Kiana. If it has to do with financial aid, if you have some just general questions, I'm going to go ahead and put my email in the chat, and you're welcome to contact us if you want to have a little bit more specialized information. We're also going to be having info session at 6 p.m. next Thursday. And you're welcome to join us on that as well. I'm going to ask if Bruce can add that to the chat. I know he has if he can find a link to that so people can register and make sure that everybody is able to contact and get any information that they have. Maybe questions that come up, even if it's not now, if it has something to do with something other than financial aid, we will make sure to either answer the question or guide you to the answers.
Yeah, the info section is at 6:30 this Thursday. And let me paste the link in here where you can register for that particular session. 1 second. There we go. And when you click that link, there'll be a couple of different sessions that we've already set up. Just click on the April 15th session, and that will register you in for this Thursday. And it will be aired live on Facebook, on the CTC Facebook page, starting at 6:30 p.m.
All right. Well, if we don't have any other questions, we just want to say thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you were able to get some of the basic answers to your questions. And again, if you still find that you have more questions, you are welcome to contact us and ask us specifically as to what those questions will be. We hope to see you again in our next info session, and we'll see you hopefully around, New Eagles. Have a good day.
Yeah. And Dan, specifically, make sure you email Kiana, and then she can resolve or help get an answer to why you think your financial aid is still in limbo. And then chances are the email might be sitting in your daughter's Eagle Mail, and that has to be checked. So, but if not, then Kiana will be able to find out exactly what the status is and get that resolved for you quickly. So.
Real quick, as a reminder, parents, for those parents that are out there, I know that you guys are there and helping your students, but now something that a lot of parents don't realize, and even the students don't realize, a lot of the times the parents cannot get the information. It has to be the student. So you can work together with the student to be able to get answers, but it cannot be that the parent contacts us directly. We cannot give information directly to the parent. So that's something that's very different, especially if you're used to having somebody at the high school where the parent can get information directly from the schools. We unfortunately cannot give information directly to the parents without the student's consent. So just keep that in mind. I know that you're working, like for example, in your case, Dan, you're working with your daughter, and that's exactly the way to do it. Make sure that you guys are working together to get the answers. But I want to remind some of their parents that if you think that you're going to be able to get answers directly from us, then unfortunately we're not able to do that. So that's a big change. And since this is an info session, the same thing will work for financial aid, and it will work for different other aspects of the college. It's kind of a learning curve for everybody at this point. Bruce, do you have anything, or Kiana?
No, I'm
No, I'm
good.
good.
Thank you.
We just hope we answered the questions that were burning in your brain right off the top of your head there, and hopefully use the links that were provided to get to the FAFSA, to apply I've also included the link for admission. So if the student has not yet started at CTC and needs to apply, we put the link in the chat where to apply, and it's an online admission to get that rolling. And then once that is complete, then you're able to apply for financial aid. So there are several links throughout the chat that you should take advantage of. Again, the financial aid webpage is there. The loan request that Kiana mentioned, I put that link in there from eTree, eForms, and so forth. So those are some helpful links. So if there's questions about those on where to find things, those links will guide you right there.
Yeah, so we can apply for CTC, but we just can't register yet for the fall classes because I guess it's not open yet, correct?
That's correct. Fall has not opened yet, but the summer semester is open. So if you want to take classes for the summer semester, that registration process opened yesterday on WebAdvisor. So once your daughter applies, or if she's already applied, obviously she's taking classes with CTC, she should be able to go to WebAdvisor and sign up and register for summer classes if she's interested. But the fall semester doesn't open until, I believe it's May, next month, that the fall semester registration will open.
Okay, but even like if you were like applying for like different like scholarships and stuff, you can't apply for a scholarship until you have registered for a class. That's what I get so confused with.
It depends on the scholarship. If you're looking for a CTC Foundation scholarship, you have to be a CTC student to get those. So once you're applied and you're taking a class, then you can fill out the Foundation scholarship application. But that application is closed right now.
Right.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
it's closed right now. So how could you apply for it if you can't even register for the classes yet? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, once you register for classes and you become a student and the admission process, all that stuff is done, then the scholarships are only, our foundation scholarships are only open for applications in January. They start in January. So, and they go for a couple months, and you can register for them online. Go ahead.
I think I understand what he's talking about. So what ends up happening is there's some scholarships that are available to any student. And it can be from the very first semester going on. There are other applications that require you to be in a degree plan, a very specific degree plan. And those, you have to have your degree plan already in the system, and the academic advisor can help you change it if you don't have it already. So that might be a thing where you just talk to the academic advisor and make sure that that you have the degree plan on file. There's other
I was talking specifically about foundation scholarships. I apologize.
Yeah.
So can you have a degree plan before you even register for CTC?
Yes, you pick the degree plan. Usually what happens is you do admissions. And again, please remember that if your daughter is taking dual credit, it works a little, you have a different path. So usually, like in your case, your daughter's probably going to have to talk maybe to an admissions or an academic advisor once she completes her dual credits classes, so that they can put her in the necessary degree plan, so that she can be ready, depending on what she's going to take. And then from there, that's how the foundation office is going to know if she, if that's one of the things that have to be one of the qualifications for a specific scholarship. They just need, that's what they look for. That's one of the things they may look for. Now, there's other degree plans that require you to be active in the degree plan, and usually those are a little bit more specific, like nursing, or some of those more vocational, very specific degree plans. You have to already be taking some of those classes because there's, for example, for nursing, a lot of people want to start nursing, but there's some prerequisites, and they really don't start into nursing at minimum until their second or third semester at CTC. So that's where, even if they think that they're going to go into nursing, you can put that down, but it doesn't really get verified until much later. I don't know if that helps answer your question a little bit more, and it makes a little bit more sense. So it's not just that we don't, that you, like some scholarships basically are very specific to the degree plan, others are not. So if you're specific into a degree plan, then you have to have it in your record that you're seeking that degree plan.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's the thing with her. In your case with your daughter, she really needs to talk to like an advisor and make sure that she's put in the degree plan that she actually wants to follow, especially once she's done with her dual credit classes, which she probably will be by the end of the semester.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan, I put the link to contact academic advising right there in the chat. You can set up an appointment with them either by phone or email, or they have a chat feature. So if you'll click on that link or use that link, that'll tell you their hours and exactly how to get in touch with them.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
And that's a really great question. I'm glad you brought it up because there's a lot of students that do dual credit with us and actually have a very similar situation. So, and it does affect their financial aid and their scholarship possibilities. So I hope that at least if this helps you to understand it, and also maybe potentially other students.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's all new to us. You know, I haven't gone to school. My wife's never gone to college, so she's the first one. So this is all really, really new and foreign for us.
Well, I'm glad that you're participating in this info sessions and that you're asking these great questions because I'm sure that there's other people in a similar situation. So that's why we want to make sure that you feel comfortable contacting us if you have any questions about anything. And the financial aid part of it is just one aspect of it. There's a lot of components that work together with it. But again, please feel free to contact us and we will do whatever we can to help guide you through the process. Because we understand really that if it's the first time you and your family are going through this, you are going to need some assistance, but we're here to help you. Please, please, please feel comfortable asking questions.
Yeah, and kudos to you, Dan, for taking these steps to do this, because a lot of family members, parents will just kind of show up at the door, so to speak, and then not know what to do, and then you fall behind the process. So now you're taking the initiative of being proactive and getting things done ahead of time. And tuning into that virtual info session on Thursday is really going to help you quite a bit to get that ball rolling, or further get that ball rolling.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Certainly.
That's great. Well, I don't have anything else. Kiana, Bruce?
Now, are there any other questions from Priscilla, Dan, or anyone else that might be tuned in that we can answer for you regarding financial aid right now?
I think I'm good right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, just FYI, if there's any questions that came up or any tidbits that Kiana brought up on this financial aid session and you can't quite remember, this session will be posted to the CTC YouTube page later on today or early in the morning. So you can always refer back to it to get the info that you probably forgot or something like that. Then you can always refer back to it and have this session as a reference. So again, that'll be on the CTC YouTube page probably later today, late this afternoon. All right. All right. If there are no more questions, I thank you guys for tuning in and joining us today. If you do think of other financial aid questions, we do repeat this financial aid session the second Tuesday of every month at 10 o'clock. So the next one will be in May on May 11th, and we'll do a strictly financial aid session just like we did today. Again, the second Tuesday, and then if you're a veteran or in the military looking for questions about veteran services, we do a monthly recurring CTC live session on veteran services the second Thursday of every month, and that will be in May on the 13th. So you can look for that. And also, like Dan, if you're looking for information on how to get started with CTC and other just general information, tune into the virtual info session this Thursday, April 15th at 6:30, and the registration link is right there in the chat. And you'll be able to do just like this, ask questions and go as we go, and we'll hopefully get all the answers that you need to get you rolling here at CTC. So if there are no questions, Kiana, thank you so much for for providing the information to us. Dan, Priscilla, thank you all for joining us, and anyone else out there whose name I don't see in the on the screen. So we appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. So again, thank you all very much, and we'll see you next time.